got a long experience of training teachers in higher education. For almost 12 to 14 years, I've worked in that, because earlier there was no way that they were training teachers in higher education for anything. So it began with 4 weeks, and it was years and years of effort on our part to give feedback to the HRD ministry that you need to be giving them more training. So a person coming into higher education needs to know child psychology, educational philosophy. They need to be trained in so many other things. So I think cognizance has been taken of that and feedback over the years. Therefore, now they have 6 months, a minimum 6-month induction program for all teachers entering higher education. Now, when we talk of primary and secondary education, they have looked at how they can make it more, what should we say? How should they make it more focused on working at the teacher themselves, is to give you the 4-year program. And it's the 4-year program is after class 12. The student needs to decide whether they want to go into teaching as a profession. So they will take a BA, B.Ed degree, or a BSc B.Ed, or a BCom B.Ed. My understanding is that once this comes into effect, it will definitely impact the way teacher education is taken forward in the country. Then people existing in one room, colleges and stuff will not be able to operate, because they will be required to be, it's not just a B.Ed degree that you can get in any one room or in 2 rooms or 4 rooms. So my understanding is that the introduction of the 4-year B.Ed program is a progressive thing. Another thing that the national policy, and it will work on the quality of the teacher. The second thing was that if you've read the policy, it says that for primary teachers, they may not require that they should do a BA. There is a proposal that there could be a class 12 student who wants to go into primary teaching, may take a course in child psychology, in classroom management, pedagogy, and may be allowed to teach the primary sections. Now, when you do that, I think it opens up possibilities at a different level altogether, because then what happens is that this huge rush for getting to do a BA degree or an MA degree and then just taking an LT or something and coming in, that will be drawn away. So as of now, what is happening is, you all talked about the performance of teachers in state eligibility tests. It will happen. We are looking at the B.Ed programs. So many colleges in higher education are offering the B.Ed program, and they do not even have adequate teachers. When we go for affiliation of a B.Ed course, we are shocked at the minimum facilities that there are. Now, inbuilt here is this basic, this basic aspect of corruption. There's such deep-rooted corruption in the process of granting affiliation, or, granting them. So it's done by the government, it's done by universities, it's done by bodies which have bureaucrats and other people in place, or they have teachers from the higher education sector. So basically, how do we deal with something like, people giving money and getting things done? So corruption is at the root of a lot of what we are experiencing and what you people were talking about. But it's my understanding that I know that what has happened. But when the 4-year program comes into force, you cannot be just an education faculty college. You'll have to be a multidisciplinary college. That's also something that has come in. No college will now just be just an education faculty, Falana College of Education. No longer. You'll have to have a BA program. So you have to have, when you have multiple disciplines coming in, or there will be cluster formations of different colleges, I believe that things will move and the quality of the teachers would be better. I believe. What I think is that the minute you make it multidisciplinary or an institution, they will be compelled to do it. And if they are not able to do it, they will either shut down. The other thing is that, I think that universities will have to think about more stringent affiliation rules. And for that, those processes will definitely get put into place, because I do go for affiliation purposes. And I just think maybe 10 days back, I was the vice chancellor's nominee at a college where I actually did write that they do not have these facilities and they should not be given an affiliation. So there are vice chancellors who come and say that you can be firm and strict and say no. But then that is also, it will again, I say, take a little bit of time, because to shut down all of those which are already there and working, more monitoring, closer monitoring and consistent monitoring of these educational institutions, which are teacher training institutions, will have to be done. And this is in the higher education sector. So it has to, when we talk of the seamless way in which primary, secondary and higher education should work together, I think only after that becomes functional can we really implement this in a manner where, it gives us quality teachers.
Chairman of the NCTE, the National Council for Teacher Education, who it was alleged had been giving out these accreditations to private colleges, private teacher training colleges like Sweeties, and without proper checks and balances. And it was alleged that he had done it in return for, basically had done corruption. So he had to step down. There was one person who I shall not name. And then, then subsequently some of the other NCTE chairmen, for example, Santosh Mathew, I was in his office, and he was talking about a very technological approach, a technocratic approach to trying to basically monitor in a technological way. So at the moment, all these teacher training colleges, they have to fill in a self-declaration that we have this, and this. And when they fill that in, they're meant to put that on a website, which is a publicly accessible document, that they're saying, they're self-declaring that we have these facilities, we have these faculties, etc., etc. And so it is verifiable by anybody. And if they find, they can complain and so on. So they're trying to take a technological approach to the monitoring. I'm not sure how successful that is at the moment, but absolutely what Nishi has just said, that the fact that the new education policy says that these will not be able to operate as standalone sort of teacher training colleges. It has to be basically as part of a university, which is a multidisciplinary setting. That will definitely help.
Another point I want to make is when NCTE and AICTE and UGC, everything will come under one umbrella. And only the law universities and the medical universities will be different. We hope to see a little more, uniformity and a little more accountability coming in. And, there will be lesser regulations, and regulations can be implemented. I hope that overarching higher education foundation will be able to work this out, number one. Number two, they are separating the NAC and other accreditation bodies from the framework and making them independent, which will then become better. And they can talk of school accreditation also through these neutral bodies, which are not part of NCTE or AICTE or the UGC. So maybe that will help.
Easily, to me, the most important point, because this separation of Directorate of Basic Education in every state is both the operator of public schools and the monitor of public schools and the assessor of children's learning outcomes and any other things in public schools. Everything is concentrated in that one entity. So how can, if you are yourself responsible for making sure that the quality is good, when you assess that quality, you are yourself assessing the quality, it goes against every principle of management. That's why TRAI was set up to be a regulator for the telecoms industry, an independent, autonomous, body that is meant to look at it. So in the same way, it's now proposed that the school education sector, there's also a state schools standards authority, which will look at that. It will be a dispassionate, neutral body that will, it is not, then the Director of Basic Education can do the task that it has been charged with, which is to run basic schools, to run public schools and to run them well. No longer will it also be the assessor of its own schools. Otherwise, what we see, they're giving themselves really good marks. All the children are doing really well. Whereas when an independent agency comes and tests those same children, you find that the learning levels are really pitiably low. So, they're giving, so this separation of powers that is inherent in the new education policy will be very good if it is implemented in the intended fashion. That's the big if.